Are Canadians going to have to choose between being allied with China, Russia, Qatar, and Hamas, or the U.S. and Israel? I mean, really, what is going on? The alignment seems really odd. And it's not just, it's different if they went to China and made a trade deal. Do you know what I mean? They made a deal for EVs and that. But sticking a stick in the Americans' eyes at the same time seems to make no sense whatsoever. Seems to make no sense. It's like that added insult. Not sure why that's happening. Do you know what I mean? The Greenland thing, I'm not sure why that's happening. The world order, because China and Russia have been trying to break the American dollar as well. They've been trying to break the American dollar. And that was one thing that Trump warned them about early on, because the BRICS nation were trying to get off the US dollar. The US dollar gives them amazing strength. The military and the US dollar are the two biggest strengths of the United States government. That is.
And self-sufficiency in fossil fuels. They are the fossil fuel superpower.
They are. Many people, and you can make the argument, I could sit here and talk for an hour of why they are the last superpower, based on their geography, based on their resources, based on their military, based on their technology. I mean, there's nobody even close to them. So when you sidle up to China, they're not even close when it comes to military might and all the stuff that's happening. So like Canada, come on, wake up, smell the coffee, and stop being so silly. I don't know if the word is silly or sanctimonious, again, virtue signaling, whatever, this TDS and all this stuff that's going on. And here's Roman Baber, who used to live in the USSR for 9 years. He says the Chinese Communist Party has over 2 million Muslims in labor camps, but you just look the other way, right? But hey, every time the Americans do something you don't like, you highlight that, run 10 news stories on it, and everybody comes out and says that Elon Musk is a Nazi and Donald Trump is, all these things. But look the other way when you talk about labor camps and genocide and all that stuff, what the Chinese government has done to people, executing Canadians as well.
Yeah, willy-nilly, frankly, or just kidnapping them as well. It's happened during the Meng Wanzhou affair.
Literally interfering in our elections, putting $1 million bounty on a candidate. And then one of the other candidates telling the people to go and collect him and take him to the Chinese consulate, they can get an easy $1 million. And Mark Carney did nothing about it. Nothing about it. The RCMP had to do something about it. Those are the things.
Also, the consulate police stations that were discovered, well, I mean, people knew about them, but they were brought to light, weren't they, that they operate these kind of police stations.
Well, they just took an ad out. They want to share policing. They want to share international policing.
And there's a lot of talk about that in the MOU, or the joint statement. They talk a lot about security and working together on police operations and things.
The Americans are going to love that. They were going to allow Chinese security forces to be working on Canadian soil. That'll go over well. I'm sure it will.
Indeed.
And there's Laurie Goldstein from the Toronto Sun there. I get the reason for it, but the Prime Minister calling China our strategic partner after calling it our greatest security threat. We talked about this yesterday, as Orwell's 1984. It's always been at war with East Asia. Now it's allied with, you know what I mean? It's just.
That's what I said to you yesterday. Isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the line that I quoted. Yeah. Funny. I mean, it's like lowbrow almost, isn't it? Because it's such low-hanging fruit. But
I can.
What do you do when it's this on the nose? Like, they make it feel like a cliche, but like they're actually doing it. So what else do we have but cliches at this point?
Peter Hookster says you said not need Canada. I mean, at some point, like, somebody's got to diffuse this situation here. Like, I don't know, like there's people now saying that Trump supported Carney so that he could weaken Canada and that Canada would want to separate into the United States. Like, maybe, because it sure doesn't look like they're best of friends. I mean, he keeps saying it, best of friends, but I mean, that's not how you treat friends, obviously, right? And Carney, he says he has a great relationship with Trump, and he sticks in his eye. Like, I don't like, if that's friends, I don't need any friends.
But that's the thing, like, a lot of people have been suggesting that Carney should kind of just swallow some of the abuse that he's been getting from Trump, or Canada's been getting from Trump, and the Liberals should just like swallow it and accept that this is a very, very, very big country. In so many ways, this is our master. Let's please them and be nice to them. And people who've said that have been called traitors and all kinds of terrible things. It's like, no, we've got to stand up for ourselves against the Americans. And then these same people are now clapping like seals when they see Mark Carney go to Beijing and kiss the feet of Xi Jinping a real full-blown imperial dictator. You know, like it doesn't make sense. There is no consistency, and this is another reason why I find it so disappointing to see Mark Carney be prostrate in Beijing, because that's not his attitude at all with the Americans, with Trump. And then he says, we see the world as it is rather than as we wish it to be. Is that the whole world except the United States then? That's not allowed to be in that category. It's just, it doesn't make sense. There's no alignment there. There's no logic to it.
Keep your eye on the Canadian currency. Mark Carney was also there during Brexit, and in the currency had a currency event there in England as well.
Well, yeah, the people who brought Mark Carney in, George Osborne and David Cameron, they're the ones that like headhunted Mark Carney and persuaded him to come and be the governor of the Bank of England. They went really hard on China relations, talked about like this golden era of excellent relations with China. There's a video and pictures of Xi Jinping having a pint of beer in an English pub, I believe, in the Cotswolds, like Hobbit land. Very sort of amusing imagery. But the government, the British government then, when Mark Carney was there, are generally recognised to have gone way too far and exposed Britain to all kinds of things that the country is still suffering from now. Let them come in, give them access to the civilian nuclear power plants, brought them in to build a nuclear power plant at one point. Just astonishing mistakes were made. And we should say as well, talking about nuclear power, in that statement, there is a declaration that the Canada and China are going to work together on civil nuclear power. So does that mean are they going to come and help us build nuclear power plants in Canada? We're going to have potentially Chinese operated nuclear power plants? Who knows?
Well, here comes the liberal media machine. Liberal appointee Senator Yun Pao Wu said yesterday the Prime Minister has to watch his back in promoting friendship with Chinese Communist Party. The senator said unnamed China haters sought to sabotage close relations with Beijing. He has to watch. He wrote that on a Twitter post. 51st state thinking is deeply embedded in Canada in Sinophobia. So this is what they're starting. The media machine is starting up. So if you say anything negative about China, you are a Sinophobia. McCarthyism is making a comeback. Wu went further in January 12 commentary published on the Senate webpage of the Hill Times. See it? Hill Times and Ottawa Weekly. The biggest challenge facing Carney when he travels to the People's Republic of China is not the obstruction of Chinese officials, but the determination of some Canadians to ensure that he fails in the mission. There you go. So they're laying the groundwork right now. So if you object to this, that you are suffering from Sinophobia. That's it. No, you can't you can't ask about anything else. You know what I mean? Like they did this for all kinds of different things. When immigration was running high and there was no access to health care and rents were running high, if you dared say anything, Mark Miller called you a racist. So just
xenophobia is a ridiculous attempt to try and make somebody sound like a racist as well. Obviously,
yeah.
Sino just means, as most people are aware, it's just means Chinese basically. So it means to be irrationally prejudiced against or fearful of the Chinese people. Quite strange because everything I know about almost everything I know that's critical of the Chinese Communist Party, all the histories that I've read, pretty much all of them were written by Chinese people. So I don't know what that means then. Are they xenophobic as well?
So this is just the media machine getting ready and priming the screechers to make sure anybody that puts out anything that is against China right now, and like our trepidation of getting involved with a communist superpower, is that we're suffering from xenophobia, and and that minimizes and marginalizes what you have to say. So there you go, all that for a sausage roll. Listen, and here it is. 9 months later, well, so more than 10 months. I can't keep score. Here's